rid of that. Alright. Next portion of this is adding up. Oh. Okay. Oops. All right. Oh my goodness. Dan Amazing. What a great emote. It's hilarious. That is a funny looking face, man. That's funny. So happy. I found settings on OBS I didn't even know about. I think my stream's gonna be forever better now. Like even my YouTube edit, I think I'm gonna have better success now. Okay. Okay. Okay, I can show you guys now. Okay. I thought my stream was always smooth, except when I'm YouTube video editing. Hasn't been bad, right? Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, that's correct. So this would be if I wrote the dollar amount like this, like 0.7, then times 0.1 would give 0.7. Or I could put 0.70, in which case the string size of that would be 2. It'd still come out to 0.7. But if I just had a string size of 1, it'd need to be like that in order to give you 0.7. So that's just depending on the way I wrote it. But I always write usually 0.07, 0.70. I always have 2 columns. So, I mean, technically I guess I don't even need this. Because I always write it consistently. Well, it's not bad to have, though. What if I had an employee one day and they wrote it wrong? Okay. Doesn't hurt. So at the end of the day, we got dollar amount double. Total earnings for column double equals dollar amount. There we go. And then add next row until we get to the end of the rows, and then when the column completes, display it. Oh gosh. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Um. Copy pasting this whole algorithm in for rounding. Okay. Um. Total earnings for column string equals rounded double string. Wait, no? Go to next column. Huh? Wait, when that happens, that's all my code is supposed to do. Let's see. That's so cool. We can copy all of that, I think. I just downloaded YouTube's free, copyright-free music library. Just Google that, and then every song I play is allowed on YouTube. I don't use any object-oriented programming. I decided to give it up. I decided it's not necessary. So I don't use any object-oriented programming principles at all. The way I went about reteaching myself coding when I decided to code for myself, not for a company, not for a class, not for teachers, for myself, was what tools do I actually need and what tools do I not need? What is the fewest number of tools I can use to get it done? Yeah, I pretty much don't use functions 99% of the time. I don't use any classes. I just use if statements and while loops. Because I thought, like, why make coding have a higher barrier to entry? Why not stick with the most basic stuff you learn right away and see if you can code with that? I only add if I need to add. Like I create pseudo functions, like if statements that act as functions. So like, this is kind of like a function. Extract contents of latest year expenses tallying file. It's gonna do that, but it's just a boolean that will then run when it sees this as it's going through the while loop. So it's kind of like a function, and then it returns to here a waiting variable, which is another boolean which I always put right under it. It returns once this variable gets set to true at the end of running this quote-unquote function. It's not a formal function. I use real functions though, but these are like my version of a function. I don't like that functions have to be placed at the end of your code. So the way I do it, the code reads like a book. This function that I'm calling, rather than it loading way down there and you got to Control F and try to find it, it's located physically. It's written right below where it's called, and so you don't have to go hunting for it. So the code can almost always just be read from top to bottom. Now sometimes I'll purposefully move it out of the way. I'll get rid of this. I'll like just put the waiting variable right here, and then the function will be like out of the way. But I prefer usually just to read the function right after calling it, right below it. So it enables me to have flexibility on how I organize where my code actually appears. The point of a function is not even to think about what things are doing, but I can still not think about it. Like, this function's right here, right? It's defined here. I can still do this. I can hit Control F on the waiting variable that waits for this function to return, and then just jump straight past the function definition. Or if I want to read the function, I can just start reading it. I don't have to go hunting for it. I don't have to Control F to find it. It's just right here. So it is using functions the same way as a normal function, except I get to dictate where it goes. So I get to organize my functions where I want them to be, and I get to put them right in the middle of my code. I don't have to put them at the bottom of the file. Having all your code in one file is super easy to track. You can have a table of contents, you can have an index, you can hit Control F to find any section of code you want. I have a software program that's over 100,000 lines of code in one file. And it's super easy to to just go to different sections. They're separated by like chapters. Each chapter covers a certain topic. It's super organized. It's just like a online book. Have an index, table of contents, everything. Are you making your code have longer loading time? No, I don't think so. I don't use a lot of libraries. And a long variable name does not slow down a compiler. The final executable wouldn't have the whole variable name. It'll just rename each variable to something short. So these variable names are only for my eyes. The computer won't get slowed down by them. In fact, I think functions, the way you guys are talking about using them, actually make the code slower. Because it has to then jump all the way to the bottom of your executable and then back up. Whereas mine is just all listed in a straight row. The function's right after you call it, it's right here. So I think my code actually runs smoother. Alright, where was I? Alright, now I'm gonna declare all the variables, and we'll run our next test on the next bit of code.